Falcons fans got their wish, Mike, because in second down, they made the move to Michael Penix. Michael Penix was my second favorite quarterback in the draft. I was a little shocked when he went to the Falcons. We don't need to rehash all that because we are here, now, where they announced that Penix is there. And you could see on the face of Kirk Cousins in that post-game thing where, he was so frustrated and upset with how he played in that game. He had to be excited because they got the win, but he knew that, I got to go watch film with my team in this situation where I just didn't. It's just not there, and they're turning to the rookie, essentially a game behind the Buccaneers. Buccaneers have Dallas this week. The Falcons are back at home. They get the Giants. Penix, you're in for this, right? This is what you want.
Yeah, it's definitely what I want. I mean.
Good.
I wish that they would have just went a more traditional route of a transition quarterback. You know how most teams do it. They get Sam Darnold to JJ McCarthy, or you could list 100 of these situations, and in 100 of them, they don't pay the transition quarterback $100 million guaranteed, Tony. All 100 situations. So they could have done it a lot less painful. And Kirk Cousins is still going to get freaking paid, dude. And it's unfortunate because when you're out there and you're looking at a play, it seems like he's kind of lost it, and he almost needs to change his whole entire speed that his body can go at because his brain is still thinking that he can still make some of these tight window throws that he can't make anymore. And I don't know if it's the Achilles injury that's really taking that aging effect to this level or what it is, but he just does not have the same power in his throws, but he has the same confidence. And that's why he's throwing a bunch of pick sixes on out routes that he can't get the ball out far enough. That's why he's throwing a bunch of balls down the field. He thinks he's got a guy open. By the time the ball gets there, he's covered. So he hasn't got enough power on his throw. He's not getting the ball there quick enough through the air. And DBs in the NFL can cover 22 yards while the freaking ball is in the air. So guys aren't as open anymore because Kirk Cousins' arm strength just isn't quite the same. And we saw this in a similar situation with a very good quarterback in the NFL that a lot of people know named Lamar Jackson in the middle of the season, a team that was like a 500 team with Joe Flacco, kind of looking for that spark to take their offense, especially to the next level, plugged in Lamar Jackson, squeaked into the playoffs and got a playoff game that rookie season for Lamar. So maybe was the Falcons' plan all along. I highly doubt it. I think they expected Michael Penix to sit the full season and maybe even another season based off of the way they set this up for Kirk Cousins. But the Falcons have nothing to lose at this point. They're falling out of the race. It looks like the Buccaneers are heating up as hot as an NFC team can get right now. They're looking freaking scary. The Buccaneers and Rams, those wild card matchups will probably have any division winners sweating going into round one. I think that Atlanta has nothing to lose. So that's basically where they're at here. And Kirk Cousins, it sucks that this is the way his time in Atlanta is coming to an end, and it's an absolute failure. If he wants to keep playing, I'm sure a team will pay him to come in and be a transition quarterback, and the Falcons will be paying him. So congratulations, Kirk. Get some more chains and have some more kids, buddy.
So I would say this, without rehashing all of what happened in the offseason, I think it was probably more of a scenario in where they didn't really think they were going to like Michael Penix as much as they thought they were. Like the scouting department, they locked up a guy that they wanted to be the franchise quarterback in this transition. And if you think about it, got him on a pretty good deal based on maybe amounts of guarantees. They'll be able to get out of this. As far as the Cousins thing, I do think that it can be a Russell Wilson situation where it's if he is just outright cut or whatever and the Falcons are going to eat the money, somebody's going to give him $3 million, $5 million to come in and compete or be the bridge quarterback. Because when I was pouring through a list of all the teams that are going to need quarterbacks, it's essentially like playing musical chairs with way too many chairs. If you just looked around, you're the music stops and then all these teams are sitting down and it's just there's just still open seats. I don't know. I fucked up my own analogy. Basically what I'm saying is too many teams need quarterbacks and there's just not enough there. It's he'll have a spot to continue to work. part of the reason why I didn't pick the Falcons to win the division was like when you get an older quarterback and he's transitioning and you have an injury and you get there and there's a lot of questions about like coordinators at like just it all isn't it's just tough to deal with. It's tough to make it work. Like remember how high I was on Matt Ryan going to the Colts? And then you see that and it's like I thought that was going to be way better than it was and it just wasn't there. Like I thought it was going to be closer to what Phillip did, what he was able to do when he got there, and it wasn't even in the ballpark of what that was. So I didn't feel like getting burned twice. Went with the Bucs. As far as Michael Penix, I am all in, Mike. Remember I told you about the number 8 seed team where I upset in the fantasy playoffs? Guess who's got an injured Herbert and a injured Mahomes and picked up Michael Penix Jr. and is starting
in the playoffs. First game of his career. Go ahead, kid.
I'm all in because I want to watch the game. Like I really am gonna sit down and like take this one in and root. And I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. I think Michael Penix is going to have a great first game against a team that's like tailor-made because this is the spot where you go in, you're at home, team's gonna be fired up. The offense is maybe gonna try some things it hasn't been trying. The one thing that I do hope they use is like he's kind of sneaky athletic a little bit, not like really a runner. Let's get him moving a little bit. Let's see if we can have some success. But I'm all in. I think the Falcons are going to potentially win out. And Michael Penix season, I'm in. What?
What about the Bucs, Tony?
The Bucs are winning out too. The Bucs are still winning the division. I'm just saying like. The kid's going to go on a nice little 3-game run here. That's all I'm saying.
Who do they play? Who do they play the next 3 games?
Oh, I knew you were going to do this. I'm ill prepared for this.
You knew I was going to do this because I don't ever believe in rookie quarterbacks just stepping in and balling out the first day.
I miss their optimism, okay? Let's see here.
Also, there's another dynamic here, Tony, that people – I mean, I was always in the scout team offense because I fucking sucked. But
here we go. They got one tough game. One.
I know these guys are supposed to be professional football players, and this isn't supposed to be a thing, but switching to a left-handed quarterback is a thing, and it's going to throw Drake London off. It's going to throw Ray McLeod off. It's going to throw everyone off just a little bit. It's going to take some time at practice, take some time in games to get used to it. It's slightly different timing, and also he can make certain throws certain throws are different from different plays. Like his blind spots are different than Kirk Cousins. So it's going to be an adjustment. So we got Giants, Commanders, Panthers.
Yeah. And here's the difference it's going to be, Mike, is that Penix is throwing 7 different kinds of smoke. These guys,
maybe,
it's not even that
you could be right.
It's that these balls are coming. They're coming out hot. Come on, a little sizzle on them. He's bringing like a fajita.
You could be right. You could be right.
Falcons fans. You're watching
the opposite way. I don't know. It's like going to Australia. It messes with football players, Tony.
I totally I'm going to disagree. The only thing it's going to throw off is Drake London getting into the end zone multiple times because I also have him in a couple of fantasy matchups.
He's still making plays, man. And you watch him play, if he gets the right quarterback, there's something there for sure.
You know what I hope happens? I hope that I hope Kyle Pitts has like 212 yards and like 9 catches for a touchdown. And they're like,
everyone draft him in fantasy next year.
Like, we have to re-sign Pitts. Like they're all going 100% in. Most of the Falcons fans I've talked to have been like, this guy has been a complete disappointment. I can't wait for him to be gone. I just want him to go nuts and then hear Falcons fans just light up the internet.